again. There. This probably will be more of a chill episode as I'm going to try and install the OS hard drive, reinstall the hard drive. I have to put the fans back as well. So one disturbing thing I found when I was messing around with my little clips here is that clips here, this little spike here, and then when you put them on this way, like not sharp, it catches the power cord. So over time, it appears like this would like cut through the insulation and like probably be a really bad day. So I've got to watch how often I'm taking these on and off because I can already feel a little bit of scrapage on this cord here where the clips are missing. So I took them off to see how other people were doing this to see if there's a better way, but I don't think there is. So I realized when I was installing it before, I didn't really tighten down the screws in the back on this on the back here of the back clip bracket on the board too good. And I can't fit a screwdriver in there right now because of how these towers are shifted. And I don't, like I said, I only have like the one half used tube of, what do you call that? Thermal paste. And so if I pop the CPU tower, cooling tower off again, probably gonna have to reapply. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it, and hopefully it won't cause too many problems once it's installed. I even tried like I have like this thing here. It has like a little flex neck, but even that, like, I need something smaller that goes at a right angle. Which actually I might be able to. Let me just double check. Like, but I don't think it's way too high to like ratchet in there. Yeah, Got a little extra turn in. Worried about stripping the screws. Seems better. This is the one ear giving me the most trouble. Here, put these back. See if I can make sure and try and keep the cords clear. I'm going to keep taking this thing off and on. This during the weekend, but what to say this? I got distracted doing something silly. So my last desktop computer is probably about 13 years old. It had Windows 10 on it, and the hardware is unsupported for a Windows 11 upgrade. So after copious amounts of scouring the internet, I managed to get it up and running. So it's not terribly stable, but then again, it wasn't terribly stable before, which is one of the reasons why I stopped using it. It's a little higher because of RAM clearance. But, well, that was also one of the things. So I was in the middle of doing that, and I was trying to make a boot disk using my streaming computer, the one where we see my face cam. So I didn't want to stream while that was going. And in the end, that operation failed, and I found a way to install Windows without using the bootable USB. Or, yeah, well, a different bootable USB that I'd already made for some reason. I was trying to use Rufus to make one that where it bypassed all the options to do the checks. And that old computer is hecka old and was slow as hell. So it's basically like a second gen i7 Intel. So real freaking old. But and also one of the reasons why I wanted to do that was to like see if I could clear up, like upgrade, get the free upgrade, and then revoke the license and all that. So I got some of that done, which is why we want to wait to the OS install now. All right. So now we've got the fans back on. I installed this SSD, I think, when we first got it up and running a few days ago. But now, when I took it out while I was messing around to make sure I wanted to, in case something went wrong, I wanted to be able to diagnose. So we're going to put this back in. The adhesive on this thing is pretty tight, which is why when I loosened it up and took it off, it brought the drive with it. See if I can get it back in there without having to pry it off and try and put it back on. Push this down the other two. Look up where I did this, which is how the hell this clip is supposed to work. All right, I'm gonna pry this off. Careful not to get my finger oils on it. Right, there's lots of glare. Everything is so reflective. All right. So basically, this is the silicon power. A 2 terabyte silicon power. Yeah, no, now, now we're cooking again. Seated. Each and Windows 11 USB here. A boom switch. Boot. DRAM. Oh my god. Oh no, it's memory training. Ah, good lord. About to have a conniption. Right, right. Oh, how well that shows up. But tell you from in person, it looks like crap. Here we go. This guy. Right now it says ready to install, keep nothing. There should be absolutely nothing on there. Well, I did plug it into the computer, so it's up in there. All right. So now we wait for the end of creation here. Let's go get the power plug. Power plug the Ethernet cable. So yeah, working at my new computer. Spent Saturday uh fighting to get Windows 11 installed on my old one. And it ran for quite a while before it started blue screening, which is a plus. So yeah. And so what I was noticing while it was running was that the old computer was at 70 degrees C at idle. So there's definitely some sort of problem there with my cooling. But it ran for most of the day and it was pretty warm over the weekend. Like without any problems. So it wasn't until like a couple hours to where it started blue screening, and then from that point it just kind of kept going. But yeah. So I do have I might try a little bit of the thermal paste that I have left over from the tube I bought with the motherboard to see if I can what do you call it? To see if I can repaste that and see if that'll work and keep the temperatures down. But yeah. And at least to continue the story I started like a week ago. So for that computer, I had spinning platter hard drives, which at least one I'm probably going to be putting in the new system. But in order to get all the drives working with the CD-ROM drive, the hard drive, and the SSD, I kind of had to like put the SSD near the spinning hard drive, and then in order to do it, I had to like flip the cable, turn it around, which meant that where the power plug connected into the SSD, not necessarily the hard drive. The hard drive actually fit better. It was the SSD in order to make it so I can daisy chain the power cord from the hard drive, the HDD, down to the SSD. I had to do this sort of weird thing, which meant that the out the connector butted out like this, which meant I couldn't put the case close the case up again to run it. So basically, I ran the system. We got something going on here. I ran the system with the side panel off. Wow. I didn't like, let's see, the fan on the CPU cooler burnt out. So did the back case fan. I kind of kept running it. I replaced the fan on the CPU cooler a second time, or replaced it, and then that one burnt out too. So these were the Cooler Masters. Like these were Cooler Master red LED ones. They cost like $10 a pop. So I paid like I forget how much for the cooler. So two different Cooler Master fans burnt out, and I was kind of like, "Fung dat." I even think that the maybe even the fan burnt out on one motherboard. So I finally get around. Like I think I was running it with just the cooler and without the fan. Probably never pasted. The paste was not quite correct. Replaced the I've replaced the fan on the Hypermaster cooler with another fan from a different one. And these were like this was instead of like red, it had like this. It has like this RGB one. It's probably still in the side here. But by then the machine was blue screening, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." And then I bought a laptop. So I may skip this part. Just in case, I have this little USB Wi-Fi adapter. I don't have the Wi-Fi antenna plugged in yet. But yeah, before I put in the GPU, I wanted to get the put the motherboard, put the drive, system drive back in. This is an old SATA cable from my old system. So if you see, like, I had some right angle ones, but you see how they poke out? These are all flat and they come out like this. So that was another reason why I couldn't. No, that's right. Oh well. Well, we started the process. We can finish it later. Thanks for listening. I guess that was it installing the video driver. You'll be Hey, base prefect. You demons supposed to be lurking in the meantime. Got some stuff you gotta take care of. Alright, cool. This seems like it's going quickly. Seems like it's going quickly, so maybe this won't take that long. But, so, great. So we can do well, I need more space than with uh this to do a case the unboxing for the case. The angle and I'd angle the camera, but I don't want you to see my janky room. Into the frame. Yes, you can see, kind of see that. One, two, three. I think these are 140s. So these, these little handles that usually go in, I'm gonna pop them out. So like when I'm gonna flip the case upside down so that it doesn't catch on this the styrofoam here. And you can see here, from right center. Same with most of this stuff. Fan here. Know if you can see that. I've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven slot covers. You've got thumb screws here. I believe these are locking thumb screws, or sorry, captured thumb screws, so that when we undo them, they won't fall out. Took off the plastic. While I have it like this, let's take a look at the top and bottom here. So these are for the 3.5 inch or the drive cage, and you see how you can undo these here, and you can like slide them forward or back. And here's the filter again. So, and you can see a little bit of the accessories poking out right there. And now here's the front of the case. do with the one ones on there. There we have them. One, two, three. Uh, looks like it's magnetic, so the magnetic filter. I believe we're probably going to want to pull this off when we actually get there. So now I'm going to put that top. The power button, USB 3, Type C's, microphone, headphone, reset and LEDs. Yay for having a separate reset and LED. Let's see. This removable. It looks like it, but darned if I know how to figure out how to stick my fingers in there. There's the there's the metal side. And there's the glass side. Don't know if you can tell here. Good. There's a little bit of like what do you call that? Embossed. They embossed the Montech name in there. And there's a little scraping there. But again, you've got the captive thumb screws. And I can see there's like two rubber grommets, couple one, two, three pass-throughs. There's a little underneath board. And I can see the back of what looks like to be the fan hub and the LED lights. So there you go. I'm I'm going to hold off accessing, opening it up, and taking a look at anything in there until we get this done. Because that's like a recipe to have something on the case break. Because again, I'm past the return date. This is I can't figure out which one of these is work because either one of these goes on pretty good. Be the front one. The thoroughbred here, and it doesn't have any juice. Such a dilly of a pickle. This is why part of the reason why I recorded it, so I can look at it later. Here. Seems to be getting and pray. So as good as it gets. Basically, this was what I was trying to do the other day, where when we were working in the BIOS. You know what? Well, let me just do this. Well, you know what? Call it there for a day, which I got done the two things I said I was going to get done on the stream description, which is the OS install, which, there's some finishing up, and that's the boring stuff. And we unboxed the case. So, yeah. So, okay, so what things we have left to do are I'm going to want to unbox the GPU and test it out. And then I think then I'll install the motherboard into the case. I don't know if that'll be on stream or not. I'll have to think of that. But I would like to try and see if I can fix the bent pins on the other motherboard before I put this in the case. That's a big ask because it may not work. Because that way, before I have to, before I wind up putting this in the case and realize, oh shoot, the other one's fixed. and now I can't have I don't have access to these components again. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't know if I want to keep trying to mess with the other board because I'm going to have to get rid of it somehow. One of these two boards is going to have to go away. Now, if I can fix the other one, I think I might sell that one. If only because that particular model is just discontinued and I don't have to deal with that. And this one seems to have mostly the same features. I think there was some RAM compatibility and they tried to fix a problem with this one. And so they changed some stuff up and I don't think that went very well, as seems to be the fact that they discontinued it. So if I'm going to wind up having to take the stuff off of here anyway to do that, maybe then I'll fix those brackets, tighten those brackets up. Excuse me. So yeah, I think we pretty much we've got this one going. I've got the woohoo toasty. Got the OS and salt stall started on this. And so I'll probably finish that up off stream. And then, in which case I can just move that back and forth while I'm testing this. The other motherboard, even if I get it working, like it'll probably give me a CPU error because it won't have a doodad in it. But yeah, so that's what we have left to do. We're going to test the motherboard. Also, we're going to test the GPU, and then we're going to decide. And we're going to install that in the case. So maybe that's it. I think that's it. I'll install this in the case. Test the GPU. Install this in the case. And then be done with it. And maybe we'll do another stream where I work on the other motherboard to see if I can get that one working. The only reason why I want to try that first is because, like I said, if I have to disassemble everything on this or test to see if that's working, it's going to be annoying. It'll be better if it's not in the case already. But in order to do that, I need this thing out of the way. The other thing we'll probably be doing streaming-wise coming up is I have a anime convention coming up, and I need to redo parts of my costume. And I'll either have to move the streaming setup into the new crafting room, or I have to clear this off and do my crafting here. I think it might be better if I moved it into the the new crafting space, which isn't fully set up. And part of the thing delaying setting up the crafting space is getting this set up. So yeah, we'll do that. So we'll sign off for now. Do 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 do. Time for the epic. So see you soon.